Hello everyone and welcome along to live. I'm not in a party, I should be in a blooming party and everyone can hear me. Oops a daisy, 2 seconds folks. Now, that was a bit of a false start. Yes, sorry, I'm pretty sure a few of the drivers will be having a little bit of a giggle about that if they heard me midway through their qualifying laps. But yes everyone, welcome along to live coverage of the Inside Line Racing League season. It is season 5 on ILR1 on the PS4, and we are at the Italian Grand Prix, round number 8 of the championship. A Grand Prix where VSR Blizzard can wrap up the World Championship. 4 rounds from the end, already looking to seal that world title. He has won all of the races, bar one so far this season. I did not finish back in China. He won in Melbourne. He had that DNF in China and then has won every race, round 3 through to 7 ever since. And he knows today it will not take much to wrap up that title. 8 points will be enough from this Grand Prix, regardless of what everyone else does, and that should seal the crown. He's on 150 points at this stage of the season, 7 races in. His nearest rival, It's Me, is on 58 World Championship points. Such a huge margin he's got, and I'm just going to make sure this party's private before we end up with some unusual visitors. It is private, so that's very good. That's what we like to see. And we can get back out to the cars on the racetrack. Now this is the man, as I just mentioned, that is closest to VSR Blizzard in the World Championship. It's Me. He's gone out there on the soft compound tyre, and It's Me is on 58 World Championship points. As I said, it's quite a scrap shaping up for second in the championship. It's Me has got 58. The man directly behind him, Paris, has got 57 points. Leon on 45. Point further back, Cliffy on 44, Yanul on 40, and Lewis, the former champion, on 33 points. Behind that, Francis McGinn in 8th place with 32. 9th place, Abiodon, he has got 28 points, and rounding out the top 10, this is Wayne with 24. He's actually joined on 24 points by Lickle and Sterling West, so it's quite compact in that group. In behind Blizzard, so many positions that can change. Just a shame Blizzard's here, because if he wasn't, we'd have quite a fight for the championship, that's for sure. As that's me coming into the bits, the tyre compounds this weekend, as you can see on the left hand side, they are the super soft, the soft and the medium compound tyre. The majority of cars in the pits at the moment. Sterling West is out there though. Let's keep an eye on him as he attacks this legendary Monza circuit, right up there with some of the other classics in the Formula 1 calendar, the likes of Silverstone, the likes of Spa-Francorchamps, Monaco as well, Suzuka. You know, they for me, along with Monza, are the big five legendary circuits that you want to win at. Scooped in history in Formula 1, as Sterling West is actually going to come into the pits on this occasion. The ideal strategy, as Lickle blocks, looks like he's going to start a flying lap then out there on the soft compound, going through that first chicane with the Rettifilio, and then going up through the gears on exit. A little bit of wheel spin there for the Haas driver, and now through the magnificent flat out right hander that is Curva Grande, and now down towards the braking zone for the Della Roggia chicane. Braking, a good overtaking opportunity in the race, down into that braking zone, and Lickle sliding the rear end through there. Now into the 2 Lesmos, 2 areas where you'll find quite a bit of understeer in the car, because you know you set the car up with these long straights, you know, with little downforce, so the car perhaps struggling through that sequence of corners. And now down through the trees underneath the bridge, which of course is in fact the old racetrack. The steeped banking, and now through the incredible Ascaris. You can look at Lickle blocks really pushing through there, the car on rails. The same cannot be said for some of the Xbox drivers on Friday night when I was watching. 2 of them perished in that barrier on the exit of Ascaric. Tierra Limitless being one of them, and João Pedro the other, as Lickle blocks comes into the pits and chooses not to complete that lap. But yeah, as for strategy, you're looking at a mixture between starting on the super softs and going on to the mediums. Some might, outside the top 10, go on the mediums or the softs and go along into the race. Mediums onto supers at the end, or softs onto mediums. So, you know, there's a little bit of a mixed bag, but, you know, overtaking around this track, you know, despite the long straights, it can actually be quite difficult. So, you know, when you're stuck in a group of DRS train, it is not easy to make moves, as Leon crosses the line, currently 7th quickest. So it's VSR Blizzard on top by a tenth of a second to this is in second, and Liam in third. So that is the top three as things stand, with 8.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Well, if you can remember last time out, it was victory, as it always seems to be at the moment, for VSR Blizzard. He won the German Grand Prix after a soaking qualifying session, came out on top in what was a dry race. Second on that occasion. In fact, I'm looking here and I'm not able to find who was second actually. Who was second? I'm forgetting. As Leon actually goes off the racetrack there and has a bit of an excursion off the road. He should be able to rejoin the racetrack from there. It goes off that Lesmo, and as I was saying, as ILRT Lewis now goes to the top of the timesheets, and we know how quick Lewis can be. Former champion, we feel we've been robbed of the opportunity of seeing Lewis take on Blizzard, and hopefully this is going to be a day where we get to see it, with that great effort there from Lewis to go quickest of all. As we watch Blizzard come round the final corner. Is he on a quick lap? Doesn't look like it. And I think he's going to come into the pits, is he, on this occasion? Yes, he is. 2 tenths between ILRT Lewis and Blizzard, but yeah, as I've said before, Lewis, who was the champion before Blizzard took over the reins last year, how good it would be to see those two scrapping it on track. Paris looking pretty solid as well. He was on the podium last week in 3rd place. Unfortunately, I had to apologise to him after the Grand Prix. I failed to get him in for the podium interviews. I didn't actually invite him, so it was my mistake, but I'm sure he keeps up this fine form in qualifying. We'll hear from him this afternoon after today's race. And of course, in the Ferrari, home of the Tifosi here at Monza, he wants to be on the podium, especially on the top step, and send those passionate fans home happy. The podium here at Monza, of course, probably the most famous one, probably the one you want to be on more than anywhere else in the Formula 1 calendar. You know, it towers out over the Grand Prix circuit, that podium. And that's where you want to be, and especially in that Ferrari car. As Paris at the moment, not particularly on a quick lap. Neither is Janelle. What we got from it, this is Wayne. Through the ILRGT chicane. And it looks like that particular Ferrari is on a push lap. So now through that first Lesmo, the camber of the corner kind of does help you out a little bit. You might be struggling at times for downforce or lack of grip due to the lack of downforce you have on the car, but the camber of the corner can help you, as this is when he tucks himself into the inside of the track, taking the shortest run down towards Ascari, spot the braking zone, and look at that, Wayne looking very confident through the car, and he was absolutely certain about his turn-in point, and this is looking pretty solid from the Ferrari man. He's got 3 tenths to make up to go quickest of all. What can this is Wayne do as he heads down into the famous parabolic in the back end, sliding away from him there, just asking for that little bit too much grip, asking for a little bit too much from his Ferrari, and he will abandon that lap and come into the pits. So this is Wayne, 5th quickest at the moment, but the field relatively close. The top 5 covered by just 3 tenths of a second. What is Little Blocks going to do? For the second time we're going to go on board with him. And he really is riding those curbs. Seen him do that already in this session. And now he gets through the Lesmos. What can he do here at the Italian Grand Prix in Monza? Lickle, who is used to winning the odd race now and then, he'll be hoping to get back to winning form. It's not been the greatest season for him. He came home 3rd in Australia, but since then it's been a downward spiral. 12th in China for Lickle Blocks, a couple of 8th places in Bahrain and Spain, followed up by a triple DNS. So Lickle will be hoping to put things right here at the Italian Grand Prix as he heads down into the Parabolica, again throwing it in, and unlike Wayne, the rear end sticks. And now he heads round the final corner up to the line. Is he going to bail out into the pits? It looks like he is. And at the moment, his only lap time, his best lap time, is on the soft tire. He is out there on the super softs now. He's coming into the pits. The majority of the drivers are in the pit lane as Lewis starts another outlap. But this is his teammate, Lewis RC, CPI Lewis RC, about to start a flying lap. Cliffy's out there as well, just behind him, about to go for a quick one. Will Cliffy go for an attempt? You know what Cliffy said before, he likes to have fun. It's not always about being competitive right at the very front. He likes to cut his way through the field and have fun that way, and that's a big lock-up for CPI Lewis, and that's put him way out of shape and ruined his lap already, his opening lap of the session. So let's keep an eye on Cliffy then. That looks like a more promising effort from the Red Bull driver. flying through Curva Grande he goes. Cliffy's best result this season, a 3rd place at the Spanish Grand Prix, a 4th in Australia. The last 3 races, a 6th and a 10th for ILRT Cliffy. So he'll be hoping to get back onto the podium, tasting some champagne here at Monza. But to do that, he might require a pretty solid qualifying lap. Look at that from Cliffy, lighting up the rear tyres through there, and had to jab on the brakes to stop the car doing a full 360. And I have to say that's pretty much ruined his lap, has it, for Cliffy. I don't think he'll be going very quickly. He'll be well into the 19s, if not into the 20s, if you have a moment like that. But we'll keep an eye on him and see how he completes the lap. Abiadon, I think, might also be out there, so might be worth going to him, as Cliffy looks to have abandoned his latest effort. So where is Abiadon? That's it, it's me. That's not Abiadon. Give me Abiadon. Look, for some reason he doesn't want to give me it. Okay, put yourself game. Not let me go into the top 6. Okay, try that. No, not allowing me to go anywhere near the top 6. So we'll keep an eye on It's Me for now. Lewis in the pits. Blizzard, I believe, is out there. Let's keep an eye and see where Blizzard is. Is he on a quick lap at the moment? Nope, he's about to start one. So Blizzard about to start one. Paris not too far behind. Lewis in the pit lane. He'll need to get out there pretty quickly. Well, Lewis, as will many other drivers who are sitting in the pits at the moment. It's Me, he's on a lap, so let's keep an eye on him. The man who's currently 2nd in the championship. The man who, with a victory or a 2nd place today, well, with a victory, might have half a chance of keeping this championship alive. It will require Blizzard to finish well down the order though, as It's Me comes round the final corner, and is he going to complete this lap? No, that's his laps in qualifying done. He will not get back round in time again, so that's 9th on the grid for It's Me at the very best, so not good for him. Blizzard and Paris though, they're the ones we need to watch, and Blizzard at the moment is 2nd, and is he going to pick up a toe here from Francis, who is, I believe, his teammate? So teamwork action here from the 2 Mercedes drivers. Monza probably the best track to try that tactic, and Blizzard, I don't think he needs it, but he's going to take it, that big toe, and will that help him onto pole position here at the Italian Grand Prix as he searches for that World Championship for the 2nd successive season. Through the Parabolica goes VSR Blizzard, and round the final corner towards the line. Is he bailing out to the pits here? No, he's taking the shortest run to the line, and it's an 18.6. He finds a 10, but still is unable to displace that time from ILRT Lewis. So Lewis finally, we've been waiting so long to see it, laying down the gauntlet. Paris on this occasion has not put a good lap together. It's going to be all about his next lap as he comes around the final corner to start it. He's got 90% of his battery left, so he should be able to get this one on the board. So Paris, at home in Monza, in front of the Italian fans, needs to put a good lap on the board. Not helped there by the car that decided to come out the pits and shoot through the runoff area. That probably would have put him off his braking point. Don't know why they decided to come out the pits with only 30 seconds to go, but Paris pushing hard through Curva Grande, the Tifosi roaring him on as he races down towards the braking zone at the 2nd chicane, the Della Roggia. A little bit wide through the first part, took a lot of curve for the 2nd part there. Paris on the ragged edge as he now retires from the session. I presume the 2nd part, he must have cut the corner, and it's going to be 3rd at best for him. What about Wayne, the other Ferrari, looking to get up onto the front row and give us a big party in Monza tonight here at the Italian Grand Prix. 5th thing stand. You know, goodness me! Big moment for the Force India, going on board with him, and that is a huge off into the wall, and his session is done. Blizzard's bailed out of his lap, and Lewis now into the wall. Several cars crashing here in qualifying. Lewis out, Paris out, and Yanul out. And is this a rather calm end to qualifying? Nobody setting quick time. What about Wayne though? In the Ferrari, is he the man to try and move up into the front row? Another car in the barrier as Wayne flashes past him. Can he be the man to put that Ferrari at Monza on the front row and send the Tifosi wild? This is Wayne heading down towards the final couple of corners. Through the Parabolica he goes. It's Lewis from Blizzard at the moment. Here comes Wayne. Up towards the line. He's taking the shortest route. Liam goes 3rd. Wayne goes 4th. Not onto the front row, but it is the 2nd row. Abiadon's in the pits behind that. Where is Cliffy though? He's bailing out. So what about Sterling West coming around the final corner? up towards the start-finish line. Sterling West, he's 14th at the moment. And where does he go after that? He goes and stays P14. And that rounds off the qualifying session. Well, they all came round and many of them ruined their final attempts. And it failed to shuffle the front row. It is ILRT Lewis on pole position with VSR Blizzard alongside him in the front row. Look at that, not much separating them, 2/300ths of a second between them. Liam also within a tenth of a second in third. This is Wayne, he's the lead Ferrari in fourth place, Paris in fifth, so there is hope for the Tifosi in tomorrow's Grand Prix with that. You know, he's sixth to the grid for Force India, he crashed on his final effort. I am Ariadon, he is in seventh, 4/10 off the pace. TTG Poe, he's eighth, Alfie ninth, and It's Me in 10th. Lambo 11th, Leon 12th, Lickle, then Sterling West, Francis, Lewis and Cliffy rounding out the grid. And Cliffy, as always, loves starting down low, and he has won from the very, very back of the grid. He did that last season, I believe, in ILR1, so he's more than capable of winning from lower down, and it was at this Monza circuit. So watch out for Cliffy. What can he do? How much progress can he make as he tries to come charging through the field? But today it's all about Blizzard. He's trying to seal the title. 8 points will do it, 6th place will do it, and that doesn't matter where anyone else finishes. He's got a 92-point cushion at the moment. In fact, I don't even know where he needs to finish, but put it this way, it's pretty much signed, sealed and delivered. 75 points will be remaining after today's race. He is going to win this championship today, pretty much, with a solid result. Anything will be enough with so many of his rivals just taking points off each other. It's Me, who is second in the championship, not even threatening up the front of the field. So, you know, it's all shaping up for Blizzard to celebrate a world title at Monza. And where better to win a championship at Monza? I mean, in a Mercedes, it might not be a popular one, but I'm sure he will not care in standing out on that podium as a champion. You can see at the background there, that podium, as I said earlier in the qualifying, it overlooks the racetrack. And of course a big track invasion at the end of the race. But there is the pole sitter, ILRT Lewis. As I mentioned a few times, not often we get to see him against Blizzard. 2 champions in this series, and hopefully we can see a cracking fight between them here today. Lewis at the moment, just sometimes attendance, he's not always here. Sometimes just doesn't just get the speed together, doesn't find the pace, and it lacks consistency. But today he's on it, and it looks like we're going to have a big showdown between him and Blizzard in this race. That's no doubt about it. I'm looking forward to it. Let's have a look at the tyre choices from everyone out there. Everyone in the top 10, plus Lambo in 11th on the super soft compound. Leon and Lickle, they've gone for the soft. Sterling West for the super soft. Francis, Lewis RC and Cliffy at the very back, all on the soft compound. So things looking good for VSR Blizzard as he looks to wrap up this World Championship. I've never ever seen a championship so dominant. I mean, I've seen people win this number of races in the championship, but the fact that there's nobody constantly behind him in second place, you know, tells you all you need to know. He is the class of the field, and by quite a distance. Well, guys, let us know. Who do you think? Who do you fancy for the victory today? Do you think it will be Lewis? Do you think it will be Blizzard? Do you think anyone else behind that can threaten? How far up the order do you think Cliffy can get? These are all questions we're all interested to hear from you guys as we get ready for the start of the Italian Grand Prix. Round 8 out of 11. 4 rounds to go, including this one. 100 points up for grabs, and as things stand, a 92-point advantage is what Blizzard holds over the chasing pack, which is led by It's Me, who is only in 10th place. As things stand, next closest is Paris, who is 5th on the grid for this Grand Prix, as they all line up into their starting blocks. There is Lewis, there is Blizzard, side by side in the front row. They move into their grid slots, and behind that you've got Liam in the Williams. Then the 2 Ferraris looking to have a good afternoon. Let's get ready. The Italian Grand Prix at Monza is about to begin. 27 laps ahead of the drivers. The 5 red lights are coming on, and when they go out, we will be racing here at the Speed Cathedral in Monza. It looks like a really good start from Blizzard. He's already pulling alongside Lewis, who's bogged down on the start. The World Championship leader is not messing about on the run down to turn 1. Lewis trying to sweep round the outside. He's done brilliantly to pull alongside again. The two leaders battling on the way through the first couple of corners. Have they all got through cleanly? I'm not too sure. Abidon looks to be dropping down towards the back as the leaders hurtle their way through Carver Grande and down towards the Della Roggia. Looks like Blizzard has just about done the job. Lewis trying his best after the poor getaway at the lights, but Blizzard hung on, he clung on through turns 1 and 2 and then held on through the second chicane. Crucial getaway for Blizzard, and he's on his way for yet another victory, but there's a long way to go, and Lewis has plenty of pace. In the background, look at this, side by side, Paris and Liam. Wayne already up to third, and look at this from Yanul, into the gap he goes, 3 of them into the braking zone. Who's coming out on top there, side by side, big squeeze for Yanul, that could be contact, you know. Oh, look at that. Incredible stuff between the pair. Great awareness. Now Alfie tucks in behind. He wants to get involved in this opening lap. Great action between these guys, but Liam holds on and Alfie goes side by side through the Parabolica with Yanil. Great stuff between them. Blizzard leads across the line from Lewis in second, but the battle is raging in the midfield. Yanil is sixth. Alfie is 7th. It's a drag race between the Mercedes engine and the Ferrari engine. Who's going to come out on top? It looks like it's going to be Yanil. Is he going to get it into the corner? Yes, he is. And crucially, holds on to 6th place. A frantic start to the Grand Prix. Action all the way through the field. But crucially, Blizzard got the jump with Lewis dropping down to 2nd. We go on board now with the McLaren driver, who's determined to show that he can still fight and still be the top dog in this series. But he's in a big moment there and immediately drops into the clutches of this is Wayne and Tifosi. They'll be happy with that opening lap. Both Wayne and Paris gaining a place. Let's have a quick look then at the position changes on that opening lap. Blizzard up 1, as you know. Lewis down 1. Liam down 2. That's given the Ferraris a gain of a position each. Alfie up 2. He's had a storming opening lap. Sterling West up 4 places. Clippy up likewise up 4. Abiadon down 9. Lewis down 1 as well, further down the field. But on this second lap, it's been an exciting opening to the race, and Blizzard is trying to open out that advantage. It might not be as easy as it's been in recent races, as Abiadon has retired. Has he gone off there in the background? Not too sure, but he's had a moment, and we've got all sorts of position changing going on in the midfield. This Lambo going really wide there on the run out of the Parabolica, and that's going to set Leon right onto his tail. Here comes ILRT Leon. He's got Alfie tucked in behind him. The midfield battle hotting up once again in ILR1. 3 wide, they're going to go down to turn 1. There's a space for Alfie, is there? No chance. Leon, round the outside he goes on Lambo. That is a tidy move. That's a beautiful move there from Leon. Round the outside of Lambo, and he takes the place. Lambo, as I said, he was out of shape coming out of the final corner, but he's coming back for more through Carver Grande. Is he going to send one up the inside? It's risky. He thinks better of it, and we've got a virtual safety car, and I presume that's because Francis has crashed somewhere on the racetrack and everyone will have to slow down. But look at this, CPI Lewis makes a very early stop, and he caught that in the virtual safety car. How much ground could that gain him? He's the only man that made it in during that virtual safety car. Keep an eye on that. 32 seconds off 14th place. We'll need to keep an eye on that, see if he did gain any ground, but that early stop could help him out there. So 31 seconds off the tail, but we're still under virtual safety car conditions as things stand after that hectic opening few laps. Lots of action in the midfield, and up front it's pretty tight as well. But we are green flag racing again, DRS enabled on lap 3 out of 27. And are we going to see any moves going across the start finish line between the front guys? You're going on board now with ILRT Lewis as they head down towards that first corner. Doesn't look like it. Further down the order we have got Yanul side by side, and further on behind that we've got more action going on. Yanul on the inside of Liam, who's been going backwards in this race, and he's lost another place as Sterling West sliding his way through the Retafilio chicane, moves up into the top 7. What a start he's had. Alfie's been done for speeding in the pit lane, and he has retired from the race. But Sterling West the star of the show so far. He's up 7 places from the start and gaining massive amounts of ground. Great stuff from Sterling West. He runs in 7th place at the moment, and in the background we've got more action going on. That's Cliffy trying to make some ground, who, remember, won from 20th on the grid here last season. So Cliffy making some progress, not as much as he would have liked, not as much as Sterling West further up the road. There are the tyre compounds, we have it once again, but goodness me, it's been an exciting start to the race as we have Lambo now having a look up the inside of It's Me. Great action going on in the fight in the midfield, but we need to move our way up towards the front. I'm going to do that in a moment as soon as Lambo tries to make his move on It's Me, who is currently second in the championship. He's not going to be close enough into the Parabolica. What about this particular battle? Blizzard sets a brand new fastest lap in the race, and this is Wayne in the Ferrari at Monza, wants to make some gains. Is he close enough to make a move on Lewis in a turn 1? No, he's not. He's too far back. Let's go back to Paul in 8th place, who's going side by side, attacking Sterling West round the outside. He can't do it. Lambo, meanwhile, fighting hard in the background behind that with It's Me. Goodness me, this is breathless stuff. At the front, in the midfield, there is action everywhere. It's Me 9th, Lambo 10th, Leon down to 11th now. Goodness. Brilliant racing so far here in ILR1 on the PS4. In the minor positions at the moment, we're watching this fight, a 4-car fight between the Toro Rosso of It's Me, the Force India or the Racing Point, whatever you want to call it, of Lambo, Leon and Cliffy in there as well, the Red Bulls and the Renault. Blizzard still having to work really hard as Lambo has a huge oversteer moment coming out of the second Lesmo, and he should now be easy pickings for Leon. He's almost pushing him down the straight. Underneath the old circuit they go, banging wheels, but Lambo just about holds on to the position as Paris and Wayne further up the road appear to have swapped places. Not too sure why. Might have been a planned move, I'm not too sure. As Leon now lines up Lambo down towards the braking zone. He's not quite close enough, and we need to shuffle our way up towards Liam, who has been losing places all afternoon long. Is he about to get one back on Yanul? Weaving his way down the straight, trying to second guess what Yanul's going to do. He's not going to be close enough, and he stays where he is. Let's go back to that brilliant battle going further down the field. There it is. Lambo, Leon, Cliffy and Lickle all in a almighty scrap over the minor placings. Lewis still only 4/10 behind Blizzard, and that says a lot. He really is taking this Grand Prix to VSR Blizzard so many times this season. After the first few laps, Blizzard just disappeared. It isn't happening today as we watch Cliffy with that beautiful overhead shot from the helicopter cam. Yeah, those helicopter guys, they get paid really well, those pilots and cameramen, and boy don't they deserve it, because they give us a great show from the helicopter. As Cliffy tries to line up Leon on lap 6 out of 27. It should be the quickest race of the season, this one. As, look at this, time to shuffle up towards the front. Look how close he is. Lewis right behind Blizzard and threatening a move. Gaining and gaining down towards the Parabolica. Well, he might not be able to dethrone Blizzard this season. Blizzard did dethrone him after Lewis won the title. He's going to go back to back as Blizzard in this championship. Back-to-back championships, but Lewis wants to make sure for future seasons he's going to be in a fight. Here he comes, gaining on the Mercedes down towards turn 1. Is he going to be close enough for a lunge? Not on this occasion, he's not. Big lock-up from Blizzard, and the front 4 all in the shot as they go through the first couple of corners. Boy, won't the Tifosi love this. 2 Ferraris in with a chance of victory. Blizzard leads, Lewis second, Paris third, and Wayne in 4th. As things stand in that particular battle. Lewis looking really racing as Blizzard puts a wheel in the dirt, and the pressure is slowly beginning to mount. 20 laps to go. Been a breathless opening few laps of the Grand Prix, that's for sure. As Lewis lines him up again, wheeling him in down that straight and into Ascari, and look how much more speed Lewis is able to carry through there. Blizzard better on the exit right enough, but Paris is there too. Wayne being dropped a touch from this group, but Lewis is gaining. Blizzard defends the middle of the road. He's going to let Lewis make the decision. He decides to stay in behind, perhaps saving fuel, saving a little bit of ERS. Paris is right there too as the 3 leaders swoop round the Parabolica and across the line onto lap number 8 out of 27. is Lewis. Going to try and make a move down towards turn 1. Blizzard defends towards the inside. Lewis tries to sweep down the outside. Henrik Monza, there's a Fossier on their feet, and it's a stunning move. Right round the outside. Blizzard forced wide. They touch on the exit of the corner, but Blizzard somehow finds the traction, finds the grip, but the Fossier on their feet now. Paris sweeps past. Off the track goes Lewis, and now he's attacking Blizzard. Mercedes versus Ferrari. Paris down the outside. He can't quite do it. And Blizzard, with a staunch defence of his lead, just about holds on. Side by side they'll go through the Les Modes. Touching wheels again. Goodness me, Ferrari are really taking this race to the top 2 drivers. As Lickel picks up a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding on the pits. But never mind that. What a fantastic fight we've got at the front of the field. Lap 8 out of 27, it's been breathless and it's got no signs of stopping. Paris breezing past Lewis, who put a bold move on Blizzard into turn 1. They made contact on the exit, that cost Lewis traction coming out of the corner. And then it set Paris on a mission, not only past the McLaren, but now onto the back of the Mercedes. The Mercedes that's won every single race that he's finished. He's won 6 out of 7 races, and he's leading in an 8. But Paris, at Monza in a Ferrari, is determined to put the record straight. Blizzard defends the inside line. Is he going to go down the outside? It's going to take something special. Someone's off in the runoff area as they all close up into turn 1 again. Blizzard defending well, unfazed by that Paris attack, and he holds on. But the front 4, again, all stuck together as Paris lines up another move as they go through Curva Grande. Down towards the Della Roggia chicane, but still Blizzard holds on to that lead on lap 9 out of 27. Awesome race so far. I'm really enjoying it, guys. If you're watching, who do you fancy? Who do you think is going to take the victory today? Is it going to be Blizzard yet again? Are Ferrari going to have their day in the sun at their home race? Or is Lewis going to finally get back to winning ways? Blizzard with a little bit of a moment there on the exit of the corner. It's not cost him too much time. And in fact, Lewis is closer to Paris than Paris is to Blizzard as they all make their way through Ascari once again. Superb race so far. I've almost forgot about the action in the midfield. It's been brilliant too, remember. But as it all settles down, what's going to happen at the front? Who's going to blink first for the pit stops? We're getting into that window where you make a decision. Do you come in for mediums or do you go long and stay for the soft tyre? Looking like soft for the front 2. Lewis and Wayne have made the call to come in. Will they try softs or will they try mediums? We'll have to wait and see. As Paris desperately tries to gain on Blizzard and send those Ferrari fans wild. Softs for Lewis, softs for Wayne. They believe they can get to the end. Are they in clean air though? Yes, they are. Crucially, they are. Well, if these two want to regain track position on the front 2, this needs to be the lap of the season from these guys. This is absolutely massive. This is why the mechanics work so hard to get those pit stops right. Lewis ahead of Wayne. He's covered them off in the stops. But can they both put in a sensational outlap and get the jump on Blizzard and Paris, who will have to cover? Let's change it to gap to the leader, 24.3. Let's keep an eye on that as we get to the end of the stops. 24.3, it's not really fluctuating at the moment. Will Blizzard and Paris feel the need to pit? Will they feel the need to cover this? Blizzard's putting a decent lap together here and he's opened out to around 8/10 of a second and they're both coming in. How greedy are they on the way in? Not too greedy as they come down the pit lane now. Who's going to come out quickest? Who's going to get the stop done best? Will it be the Red Bull team, sorry, the Mercedes team or the Ferrari team? Up on the jacks goes the Red Baron, and away he goes. He was held there as Janul came in, so that's cost Paris a little bit of time there. Where are the rivals? Here comes Lewis across the line. Where is Blizzard going to be in relation to him? Where is that Mercedes? There is that Mercedes with the overspeed. Is he going to be in front? It's going to be close, but I think Lewis has got that. Sorry, Blizzard's got this one covered. He does, only just. As they go into the braking zone, Wayne is also ahead of Paris. It's not worked out well for Ferrari. They're off the tail of this group. But Blizzard is vulnerable. He doesn't have tyre temperature. Lewis certainly does. But he's not close enough. to find a way through down into the second chicane, and Blizzard holds on to the lead of the Grand Prix. Crucially, the net lead as we wait for Cliffy and Leon to pit. But boy, oh boy, it's a good race, and that's very, very wide for Lewis, and that could put Wayne on his tail. Is that a decisive moment in this race? Has that given Blizzard the cushion he needs to try and open out beyond the second? Costly error there from Lewis as he was trying to mount the pressure on Blizzard, but he's still there. He isn't losing touch, as he hasn't over the first 11 laps of this Grand Prix. Still the 4 contenders for the victory are all together, as Lewis is taking massive chunks of time, by the way, out of Blizzard. Here they come again. Round the final corner and towards the line. Now Blizzard needs to defend. Lewis is right there. What a shot that was. As they go down towards turn 1, Lewis steaming down the outside. Has he finally got the overspeed? Has he finally got the lead of the Italian Grand Prix? Yes, he has. It's not the official lead. Cliffy and Leon yet to stop. But finally, Lewis finds his way through and moves up into the net lead of the Grand Prix. Blizzard down to what would be second, with Wayne and Paris tucked in behind. But did Blizzard let him go? He had a half-second cushion going down the straight as Paris picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is vital. He can't afford to be doing that. And surely that ruins his chances of victory already. Does that make it a race between the front 3? And Lewis, by the way, has got no interest in hanging around. He's opened up a 7/10 gap on the Mercedes of VSR Blizzard. Magnificent driving. Is this the return to form of ILRT Lewis, former champion, former Race of Champions champion? He's won it all in ILR on PS4 in the top tier. Finally, after all this long wait, he's returning to form and he's taking it to VSR Blizzard. He's showing him that in the future you will not have it all your own way. But Blizzard is determined to show that he's the king these days in ILR1 as he gains and gains and gains. Lewis comes across to the inside and covers it off as they go into the braking zone, but he's a little bit deep. Now that will give Blizzard the chance. Tries to cut back on the exit, and now Wayne will be very close too. The two Ferraris just hovering in expectation, waiting to pounce. Lewis still with the upper hand as we reach the halfway point, almost, in this Grand Prix. Wayne looking menacing in there too as we go on board with that Ferrari driver who's just been quietly going about his business, waiting for the moment to pounce. He's let Paris have a go. He's let Lewis have a go at Blizzard. He's just been sitting there, waiting patiently. Who will come out on top? Don't forget Cliffy either, who is yet to stop and is on soft tyres. He'll be fitting a much fresher set, perhaps of super soft later on in this race, and he'll be coming charging back at this group. He's going to be one to watch as we watch the leading 4 protagonists for victory all together. Liam's dropped off the group. You can just see him in the background, desperately trying to reel them in. And Lewis is also desperately trying to open out a second, but he can't do it as they come across the line again. Lap 14 out of 27 in what has been, for me, one of the best races in ILR1 on PS4 for a long time. Certainly the most competitive in a long time that I've seen. Brilliant stuff. I wasn't here for the Chinese Grand Prix, which Blizzard didn't win, but I heard that was a cracker as well, with mixed conditions, throwing it all up in the air. But on a pure dry day, where everyone is at their maximum, this is, by without doubt, the closest I've seen an ILR1 race for a long, long time. Such is the stranglehold that VSR Blizzard has had on this league. He is going to be champion today as things stand, no doubt about that, but he's got a race on his hands. Let's take a quick look at Cliffy, by the way, and Leon, who are going along on the soft tyres. How far away from a pit stop are those guys? So a quick cutaway from the guys fighting for the victory, and a quick look to Cliffy. How much longer will he go? How much longer will Leon go? As there we go, back to the leading peloton, if you like. Lewis, Blizzard, Wayne and Paris dragging each other along. in the quest for victory as Blizzard homes in again on Lewis. I tell you what, he's got some slipstream, he's got some serious straight line speed in that Mercedes as he gains down towards turn 1. Not enough to make a move though. And he stays tucked up behind, and I mean tucked up behind. Oh, it's so close. It really is so close. Who's coming out on top then, folks, between these four? Do you think Cliffy can get to this group later on? Let us know in the comment section below. We always love to hear from you guys at ILR. We love to interact with you guys and let us know what you think. It really is some scrap for the victory. Behind this scrap, we've got Liam 6 seconds off, then a 4-second gap further back to Yano. Pole, then Sterling West. We've lost It's Me from the Grand Prix as well. He's crashed out or retired in the pits. As Blizzard homes in again. We've lost Lickle, It's Me, Alfie Francis and Abiodun from the Grand Prix. And Cliffy has had a moment. He's got a puncture. Oh, what a shame for Cliffy. On that marathon stint, he's picked up a puncture and his chances of getting a strong result are completely ruined. That's a disaster for Cliffy. Leon now takes the place and moves ahead. But look at this. Now, in what is a net battle for the lead, here comes Blizzard. He's launching his attack side by side down the start-finish straight, and he's going to retake the lead, the net lead of the Italian Grand Prix. This champion, you just cannot knock him down. And he regains the upper hand, moves back ahead of Lewis. Has he been saving battery? Has he been waiting for this moment? Has he been saving fuel? Is he now about to canter off into the distance? Doesn't look like it, because Lewis is still tucked right up behind him. Are the Ferraris struggling to keep with these two now? Not quite, but they are just about hanging on. Blizzard now back in front. But what's happened to Cliffy? That's a real shame for him. That puncture has ruined his hopes of climbing up through the field with another strong finish. But this titanic scrap for victory shows no sign of ending. Lewis against Blizzard, against the Ferraris of Wayne and Paris. Some race so far, as we are about to go into lap 17, and Wayne now really looking excited, looking really racy in behind this group as they come across the start finish line. As Leon now pits, that gives Blizzard the lead of the race. But look at the Ferrari here of Wayne. He's going to go down the outside of Lewis. Lewis breaks a lot later, and he's broke way too late. He almost touches. He may even have touched Blizzard there. Thankfully, light contact doesn't look like it was going to cause any damage though. And it remains as they were, with Paris tucked up behind them in 4th place. And they're going to do the swap. Now that's a mistake. Are they aware that Paris has a 3-second time penalty? I'm not too sure Wayne does. I'm going to just check that. But I don't think Wayne has a penalty, does he? No, he doesn't. So that is an interesting call from Ferrari. Right up there with the strategy calls we've seen from Ferrari in real life Formula 1 in recent times. And surely that is not the correct decision. So they've swapped them around and they're giving Paris a go, but he does have a penalty. Very interesting decision there as the race at the front slowly begins to calm down. 8 tenths covering the top two. Paris, the next car. And this is still the closest action on the racetrack at the moment as they come across the line to start another lap. Has Blizzard just been waiting to unleash this kind of pace as he sets a new fastest lap of 1 minute 21.399. He really is on it now. And looks to be on the march. As we go on board with Paris, 8 tenths away, the Ferrari's just dropping back. Cliffy now sets the fastest lap as Lewis reminds us that he is not going anywhere. It's VSR Blizzard in the lead from Lewis in 2nd, Paris is 3rd, Wayne is 4th. Paris is a 3-second time penalty though. Liam now gets one. He's quite a way off this group though, 6 tenths adrift of Wayne, who is also dropping off the trio. Janela 6, Poe is 7, Sterling West is 8, and Leon 9 and Cliffy, despite that puncture, currently on course to pick up that final World Championship point in 10, as Lewis again gets himself into a position to try and launch an almighty attack on Blizzard. He's gaining and gaining, he'll wait for his opportunity though. Paris is right there as well, almost pushing Lewis through the parabolica. Penalties are not going to help him out though, as they come round to start lap number 19 out of 27. Still anybody can win this race. Blizzard defends to the inside as they head down towards the Retafilio. Lewis tries to outbreak him, down the outside he goes. He has the inside now, forces Blizzard out onto the curb. There's light contact between them, and Lewis, has he done the job? Through Curva Grande they go. Blizzard still just a nose ahead as they come round the corner towards the breakings over the second chicane. It's Blizzard in front still, but Paris suddenly up into second place, and for the second time in this race Lewis has tried to go the long way round, looked like he was going to get it, and drops down to third on the run down to the second chicane. That is carbon copy of what we seen earlier, and ILRT Lewis, the former champion, will be getting extremely frustrated inside that McLaren cockpit as Paris now moves into second place to become the next man to challenge VSR Blizzard. Exceptional race this so far. It's going to be like this all the way to the flag, folks. That's for sure. Buckle up and enjoy. Again, they all close up into the braking zone. Was there a little nudge there from Paris? Perhaps there was. There wasn't much in it. And now, he's the man in the position to attack. Or is he? No, he's not. He's at a terrible exit coming off the corner. And now, Lewis is attacking. This is crucial for the race. Blizzard gives Lewis the toe and into the braking zone. Look how late Paris was in the brakes. Lewis thinks better of it. And I suppose that's good, because if those two ended up battling, that could have freed up Blizzard to break away. Goodness me, this is some race. Absolutely incredible. Wayne still, despite dropping off a few moments ago, only a second adrift of this trio, and will catch them up to keep battling like this. Ding dong stuff here in the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Still Blizzard from Paris now, and Lewis in third. Let's drop down briefly. A quick look at this. You must be screaming at me for doing it, but I'm having a look to see Poe against Leon. Don't worry, we'll go back to that in a moment, up front. As Leon will surely very soon make that move. But look at this. Here comes Lewis attacking Paris, and he's going to have the slipstream for Blizzard. And Blizzard will now move across to give the Ferrari the slipstream. It's too late though, and Lewis is back through up into second place, and the Ferrari down to third. Blizzard still with that upper hand at the front of the queue. He's hoping and praying that the cars behind start battling and allows him to open out that crucial 1 second he needs. Doesn't look like it's going to happen though, as Lewis brakes very late and is so close to touching Blizzard's diffuser and clipping a bit of his front wing off into the air. Through Curva Grande they go again. There's a Fosse on the edge of their seats. I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm sure you guys are at home. Blizzard still in the lead. Lewis bouncing over the curbs, desperately hoping to challenge Blizzard in the remaining laps. Trying to show that he is still able to compete at the highest level. Trying to show that he next season will be able to displace Blizzard from the championship, because as things stand, VSR Blizzard is going to be champion. Down into the braking zone they go, and Blizzard for now still holding on. Wayne just about back within a second and might be able to launch a late flurry. It's been some race here at Monza, the best ILR1 race I've seen for quite some time in PS4. Across the line they go again. Paris, by the way, is going for the move. The prancing horse at Monza, galloping alongside Lewis. He decides to back out. Doesn't want to get in a battle that frees up Blizzard, I believe. That's what he's thinking. Battle with Lewis. Oh, that's a touch. Oh, Paris touching Lewis there into a slide, but thankfully it doesn't result in Lewis spinning and ruining the battle for the victory. But that's definitely what Paris was thinking. I'm not attacking Lewis because I still want to have a chance of winning this race. If I battle with Lewis, I'll free up Blizzard to break clear. That must be what he's thinking. As the front four, as they have been so close all race long, continue their battle. Unbelievable stuff. Who do we fancy to come out on top? And there they go again, down into the braking zone for the Ascari chicane. It's just all about lining it up towards turn one, just getting the ERS saved up for that assault. It's going to be all about who takes the lead on the final lap for me down towards turn one or down into the second chicane as we come across the start finish line yet again, and this as close as it's been. There's a possibility we could be 3 wide here. Blizzard defends the inside. We are going to be 3 wide here at Monza. Very briefly, Lewis tries the outside. Is he going to retake the lead at long last? Touching wheels with Blizzard. Through turn one they go, and Blizzard yet again holds on to that lead. Lewis this time though does not lose out to a Ferrari. And does he now have the opportunity to attack down into the second chicane? Paris tucked in behind, and somehow, once again, the top 3 places stay as they were. For a moment we were going to go 3 wide. Paris decided against it, and they are really getting close together now. Blizzard, Lewis, Paris and Wayne, only 7/10 off them. He's trying so hard to catch them as Wayne. This is going to be some finale. All the way to the flag. Blizzard's got so much straight line speed as they come round again off the exit of Ascari. Paris tucked right in there. He's got 92% of his battery, 55% for Lewis, 90% for Blizzard. Boy, he must be running low winds to be keeping these guys behind. Here we go again. Lap 24 now out of 27. This is going the distance, folks. Buckle up and enjoy. Blizzard defends the inside. Lewis moves to the outside. Is he this time going to make the move? Blizzard locks up, breaks a little later, somehow makes the apex of the corner. That is magnificent defensive driving from VSR Blizzard. For all the while it looked like he'd locked up and made the error. He didn't know. He clung on. He'll need to cling on again as they go down towards the second chicane, the Della Roggia. And again he holds on. You've got no idea how difficult that is to do from Blizzard. Defending the inside, not taking a line you usually take, locking up, bouncing over the curb, and somehow taking a very, very good line, carrying the momentum through the corner. Magnificent stuff. The stuff of champions. But the man behind him is a champion too. He's more than capable. He's more than able to outfox a fellow champion. He's won it all, as I've mentioned already. They've both won it all. 2 ILR legends in PS4 fighting out to become the top dog in this Grand Prix. Blizzard will be champion today. That's almost assured. But Lewis wants to show him that in the future you're going to have to fight for it. Across the line they go again. Paris again just will not go away. Neither Ferrari will go away. The Tifosi desperate for something to happen between the top 2 to hand them a 1-2 on home soil. 3 to go at Monza. It has been incredible. Wayne still that 1 second adrift, still unable to attack. Must be struggling with tyre life perhaps. As the front 3 again head down towards the Lesmos. Blizzard, how is he doing this? How much straight line speed has that car got? Exceptional defending when he's had to. Every time he sent Lewis round the outside, he sent him on a wild goose chase and left him dropping into the clutches of Paris. Lewis needs to find a way to get onto the inside of Blizzard. It's going to be tough because Blizzard just refuses to show him the inside. Come on, folks. Not long to go. Call your winner. Blizzard, Lewis, Paris, Wayne. Go on. I hate being boring, but I still think Blizzard is going to win this race. Penultimate lap at Monza. Lewis gaining again. He knows on this next lap he needs to unleash hell. Every last bit of charge in that ERS battery. Or is it better for... Oh, that looked like a touch of grass there from Blizzard. He's made a mistake. He's made a big mistake on the grass, and Lewis tries round the outside. Thankfully for Blizzard, the straight comes to an end quick enough, but that's a let-off. He's feeling the pressure. Big moment. Big moment that. And that gives Lewis a fighting hope, a glimmer of hope. But look at Blizzard, he's draining that battery as Paris now threatens to get involved with Lewis. Blizzard draining that battery down to 40-odd%, trying to make a decisive charge. Is it worth Lewis just waiting to try and catch him out on a section of track? He's not done it yet. Maybe down to Ascari, the second chicane perhaps. Or is he going to save every last ounce of battery for this charge down the straight for the final time? Lap 27 out of 27. There's 3/10 between them. Is Lewis going to make a lunge? He has to make a lunge. He's going to brake very late. Finally gets the inside for the first time in the race. Contact between him and Blizzard. Blizzard was deep enough into the corner to hold on. Oh, that was incredible. Not over yet though. For the first time, Lewis got a chance at the inside, but he was just a little bit too far back. Paris is just waiting in the wings for anything that might happen, but Blizzard looks to me like he's held on. Paris finds a route down the inside, bundling across the curb, and off the road goes Paris. That will put Wayne back into it. That puts Lewis out of a chance of winning it, and that will be that. Well, the Mercedes mechanics down below me in the commentary box, finally, who were glued to the television screens in the garage, have left the garage and are going out towards the pit wall. They've got the pit board ready. They're ready to welcome home a race winner and a world champion. It looked like it was going to go right to the finish for the victory, but in the end, after Paris and Lewis went into a battle, it finally freed up Blizzard, who today, the class of the field, is going to win for the 7th time in 8 races this season and become the champion again. It's back to back for VSR Blizzard. He wins the Italian Grand Prix at Monza in the Mercedes to become champion for the 2nd time. Absolutely magnificent stuff for VSR Blizzard. It was never ever in doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, the most dominant championship performance I have ever seen in ILR1. But what a race to clinch it. For once, he had to fight with Lewis, Wayne and the Ferrari of Paris, all hot on his heels, desperate to challenge him. But today, we salute the champion again. VSR Blizzard, race winner and world champion for the 2nd successive season. Boy, if Lewis can keep that up next season, we will have an almighty championships scrap. Incredible. Thank you to everyone that tuned in for that. It was a cracker. Blizzard wins. Lewis 2nd, Wayne in 3rd. 4th was Yano in the end with Paris' penalties mounting up. Pole got 6th. 7th was Leon. 8th for Liam, with a terrible race after a good qualifying. Sterling West was 9th, and Clutty was 10th. Astonishing race, and Blizzard has done it. An absolute god on the game. As Ali Monda, my former commentator who joined me in the commentary box here last season to witness the Blizzard magnificence, he says he is a god on the PS4, and you're absolutely right. He holds the trophy aloft here at Monza. Yet another victory. His only race without a top step finish this season was in China, where he failed to finish the Grand Prix, but he comes out on top today in the battle. All the fans here at Monza come out onto the racetrack to show appreciation to the champion in without doubt, one of the most breathless races I've ever had the pleasure of commentating on. Absolutely magnificent. There is their final results of the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza. VSR Blizzard wins in 37 minutes and 50 seconds with ILRT Lewis in second. Boy, oh boy, it might show us 1.6 seconds. It was closer than that going into the final lap, that's for sure. Wayne didn't pick up any penalties, and that assured him of third, and something to cheer for the Tifosi on the podium. You know, quietly went about his business, finished fourth. Paris, those time penalties costing him dear, finishing in fifth. Pole, he was sixth, ahead of his Renault teammate Leon in seventh. Liam Yo was eighth, Sterling West ninth, Cliffy in 10th. Not the recovery through the field he would have been hoping for at all from P10 after he got a puncture earlier on in the race. Well, bear with me, guys. I'm about to try and invite the guys into here for podium interviews. I'm sure you will want to hear from the world champion. What a race it was, that's for sure. And Blizzard comes out on top for the 7th time in 8 races. Have you ever seen such dominance in a league? I certainly have not. Have you guys try and name me a few if you can come up with any times where you've seen a more dominant display than that? Absolutely magnificent stuff, and well deserving VSR Blizzard of the championship. Let's try and get the other guys who finished on the podium. Let's try and get Wayne in here for starters. And as Blizzard has joined us, I'll speak to the world champion in a few moments. But what a performance it was by him. So let's try and get the other two guys, Lewis on the podium and Wayne. I'm going to send Lewis a friend request actually, because I've not got him as a friend, surprisingly. And I'll try and get him in here. But first things first, let's go and talk to our reigning champion, who today, for the first time in quite some time, really had to fight for it. It was a classic ILR race. But first things first, Blizzard, you might have had to fight today. Let's talk about the championship. You've won it, and congratulations. I don't think I've ever seen a world championship dominated at such an extreme level. Incredible job.
Well, thanks. I mean, this one, I didn't have to fight as much as the last one, but this still obviously means a lot to me. Back-to-back ILR championships. Has anyone done that on PS4? Did Louis do that?
I think Louis did it. I think he did it.
Yeah. So, obviously now, probably I'm guessing that's the most dominant season as well.
Oh,
if I can just hopefully maybe keep winning, get all of the wins except that one race.
Yeah. Well, is that something that's really hurting you now? That race back in China. Do you wish you'd been able to win that one to try and go for that perfect season?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was leading that until I lagged out. So, and then everything was really laggy for me for the rest of it. So I couldn't really do much about that. But
that's it. I mean, it's going into this season, obviously champion now. I mean, obviously with the red hot favourite, you won last season, not comfortably, but not obviously in the same dominant fashion as this. Did you ever think that going into this season with a few of the newcomers coming in that you would have been able to dominate it at this level?
I knew I had a chance to win a championship, and I thought it would have been a better chance than I had last season, but I didn't expect to win every single race.
Incredible.
Really.
Absolutely incredible. Well done, by the way. A sensational performance, and the championship is yours again. Incredible stuff. A man for the future. Seriously, esports teams, sign him up when you get the chance. What a driver we have here. Well, let's talk about today's race then, Blizzard, because, you have been the reason that some of the races haven't been as exciting as they maybe would have liked. But that today was competitive, it was compelling, it was edge of seat stuff right to the finish, and you had to fight for that one today. And Louis, who, as you mentioned, won championships in the past, it looks like he's going to try and show that next season he's going to be around to challenge you. Great race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really fun. A couple of times I tried to break the DRS, if you probably saw. I managed to get the gap up to like 8 or 9 tenths in one of the closing laps, but couldn't quite do it. But yeah, a really fun battle with Louis, especially at the end. Kept having to go at me at every single opportunity. Yeah,
it was brilliant. And, at so many occasions you showed him the outside line. He would always try and get round the outside, but every time you just held on in there, even on the outside at turn 2, light contact, acceptable, nothing major. And for some reason, you were sending him on a wild goose chase. He would drop to second, then he'd have the Ferraris all over the back of him, clawing at him. And, it just seemed that if you got yourself on the inside for turn 1, you were always favourite on the exit of that corner. What though was going through your mind on the final lap when he finally got a run up the inside? You must have been worried on that occasion.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to be able to send it there, but I knew that he was going to go deep if he basically almost used me as a brake if he actually sent it, and he did send it. So I knew that I'd be able to get the traction as long as I held it tight to the inside of turn 2
Yeah.
and left him enough room if he needed it.
Well, it was absolutely fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that one. So, 3 races to go, and I take it, as you've mentioned already, the aim is to try and go out winning the whole lot and cleaning up the season. If there was any doubt who was the top driver in this tier this season. Is that your aim? Just win the lot?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
And that's it. Well, congratulations anyway. I'm going to try and get Lewis in here. I don't think Wayne's going to join us, but if I can get Lewis in here, I will. In fact, no, Lewis doesn't usually join for them, does he? I don't think he does, so there's no point. Anyway, okay, congratulations anyway to VSR Blizzard. You've won the World Championship back-to-back for the first time. And, you've only been in it 2 seasons. You've won them both back-to-back. Magnificent stuff. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see if there's a battle going on next season. That's it for the Italian Grand Prix. I believe we head to the USA, I think, for the next round of the championship. Be sure to join us next week for that one, but it was inevitable. It's finally happened. VSR Blizzard is the world champion. That is it from me. That's it from Blizzard. Congratulations to him, and good night.